Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Ooh, we have a very special guest today, Josh.
Hello, everybody. People all over the world.
Yeah, I really am all over the world. How are you doing today?
I am good. Long day at work, but now it's like, all right, time to unwind.
Right? Yes. Oh, time to have fun. I lost my little ball. Oh, whatever. It's fine. Anyways, so on today's episode, he's actually el primo of my producer. So we're just gonna talk about embarrassing stories. Oh yes.
There's plenty of those.
Literally. Just kidding. My producer's like, no, digas nothing embarrassing. I'm like, no promises.
Oh yes.
Just kidding. But anyways, so Josh, I did notice, so is it like two different podcasts that you have?
Yeah, I do. So one podcast is basically just highlights from the radio show that I do at Ames called The Dumpster Fire. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of similar in vein to this, which is just a lot of a lot
stupidness.
Of stupidness. That's why it's called The Dumpster Fire, because me and my co-host, it just happens to be just whatever happens to pop into our heads at that same time.
I love that. Yeah. So it's like just like a boy version of this.
Yes. Yeah. Well, actually, I should say boy them version of this, because it's very because both of the co-hosts that I have, both of them are trans, so they use they pronouns, and we just say some of the most absurd shit that we say, just because as long as we're following the rules, because when it's radio, obviously you can't cuss.
There's so many rules for radio. I'm like, I can't do that.
Say this? we can't cross the line, but we go like right here. Yeah. As long as we don't cross it, we're good. But it's a lot of fun, and I've been doing it with them for about 3 years now. And we finally, like, as a group, we're like, okay, we've been doing this for so long. Like, why don't we just put it on Spotify?
Yeah.
It's like we know what we're doing. It's like, all right, well, I'll go ahead and just start getting it uploaded, and that's how it kind of started. And then Talking Smarks is the wrestling podcast that I do, because I've loved pro wrestling since I was a kid, and that's actually kind of how I really chose to study radio and broadcasting, was because it's like people had heard me talk about wrestling and they're like, you know what you're talking about, why don't you do a podcast on it? And then I'm like, I don't know, until people finally convinced me after quite a few shots of tequila. They're like, just try it.
It's
just
always
record.
A tequila.
It is always a tequila. And it was just like, what? Just try it, just do it once. And then if you don't like it, whatever. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. I've had this idea in my head. I'm just going to go just try it. And then I was like, oh, I actually really like doing this. Yeah. So I'm just going to do it.
So that one, do you just do it by yourself then?
Yeah, that one I just do by myself and it's just kind of been by myself because, like, my co-host on The Dumpster Fire, they don't really watch wrestling. And then other acquaintances of mine that do watch wrestling, none of them are close by.
Oh, okay.
For me
so
to
it's a little harder, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little harder for me to, like, go over there or for them to come here. So for right now, it's just a solo gig. But if I ever got the chance to, like, travel and actually meet some of these people in real life and, like, do it there, then I would totally jump at that.
That'd be sick.
It would be so awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
So the radio show that you do, is it for, like, Ames? Like, how does that work?
So
is it like a school thing, or?
So if you sign up to take radio classes at Ames, once the first semester is always just like the coursework where they teach you, what to do, what not to do. And then afterwards is when you're doing the lab, which is when you're actually in the radio station doing your show.
I didn't know it was a thing. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's
I'm on my way to apply. Oh, yes.
it is a lot of fun. There's not very many of us. But we're a very tight-knit group because it's just so few of us, and a lot of us end up staying in the program just for years and years. So it really is cool. Like, I've had so many fun times with just everybody that's been in there over the years. And does
everyone have, like, the same interests and stuff? Or do you guys all have, like, various, like, things?
So me and my co-hosts on The Dumpster Fire, ours is just anything and everything random. Other people on the show will actually go into, like, more, like, heavier news topics or, sports talk, or they'll go into, like, more serious discussions like, like inequality, things like that. But the whole thing with The Dumpster Fire and where it really got started was I wanted to do a show where people could forget about the world for just a little bit, because we just get so much, like, news every single day. And honestly, half the time it's like, I don't want to see this.
It's a lot.
It is way too much. So I'm like, you know what? I want to be that one guy that even if people only listen to us for 5 minutes and they're like, okay, these people sound really dumb, but I don't have to think about what's going on in the world, then I did my job.
That's how I excited
we did
about
our
this
job.
one. Yeah.
So that's really where a lot of it just got started, and we just strive to do that. So we've had in the years other people try to be like, oh, why don't you talk about, this topic on the show or that topic? And it's like, cool. We really do love the feedback and the suggestions, but it's like, we're supposed to be the escape from that.
Yeah.
To have that
focus.
we just want to be that little bit where people can forget about it, even if it's just for like 5 minutes that they listen to us, because it's a 4-hour show. So.
Oh, damn. You guys talk a lot.
Yeah. We,
no, but sometimes that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we go. Like when we start on something, we just go on and then we realize it's like, oh, we haven't played, because it's a radio station that plays music. We're like, oh, we haven't actually, played a song in like 30 minutes because we've been yakking about, like this past week, we were talking about prescription drug commercials and how when they read the, when they're doing all the side effects that sound really, really bad, it's always in the commercial where people look really happy.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like these people,
like the suicidal ones?
Yeah.
Like suicidal, and then the mom's just pushing their kid in the swing.
Yeah, the mom's just like, yay, I feel better. While, that monotone...
I'll kill myself later!
Yeah, while the monotone voice is just like, oh, may cause suicidal thoughts and actions. Please see a doctor immediately. And it's like, yeah, and we were just going, like, we just did a whole, 20-minute segment on this, and it was a lot of fun, and we'll just get into just the randomest things, like the a few weeks before we did a whole segment on whether I'm Just Ken from the Barbie movie, whether that would be considered like an emo song or like a very sad song, because if you look at the lyrics, he's pretty sad. Like at that point in the movie, Ken is very, very sad.
Yeah.
So we got into like this whole debate on that on the show, and we actually had our professor walk by, and he just like, he's looked at it, he's like, you guys are nuts, but it works. And it's like, yes, that's the point. Like we're so crazy that it works. Like people can't look away, and that's kind of why it ties into the whole idea of just it being a dumpster fire, because it's just chaos,
because it's just a bunch of shit just thrown in there pretty much.
Oh yeah, no, it is absolutely just some of the most chaotic shit. And then half of the conversations that are off air, oh no, those yeah, no, those ones would...
those ones get you in trouble.
Yeah, no, those are the ones that it's like... And a lot of times when we know that we're getting close on, like, to saying something when we're on the radio, it's like, and that we cannot say on air.
Yeah.
Like, that's just our... Yeah, it's like, yeah, we can't say that on air, so sorry, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. It really is.
So you said you've been doing it for 3 years, or?
Yeah, we're approaching it. October will be, like, the official 3rd year.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yay!
Yeah,
well, happy early congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's like, Joe, if you're seeing this, please don't throw us off the air.
Yeah, Joe, keep them on the air. I'm going to find you, Joe.
Yes.
Are you guys only on Spotify, or are you on other platforms?
So right now we're just on Spotify, because that's the most widely used streaming service. Because I had used Spotify before to get Talking Smarks, which is the wrestling podcast, up on air.
Yeah.
So I just stuck to using them because, obviously there is, Apple Music and Amazon Music and all that. But almost everybody else, the primary method that people use is Spotify. So I was like, okay, I want to have a show on the platform that has the biggest audience, or that people can just pull it up on their phone or their computer, wherever they are, and they can just listen to it.
Yeah. I was thinking of something, and my train of thought went the other way.
It just went.
No, literally, I was like, I'll ask him right now, and then this went thing.
No, it's a Thursday night. It is very...
I just got off of work.
It's a Thursday night. You just got off work. I just got off work. It is cold outside. It's just messing up all our brains.
The way I literally blinked.
Just... No, believe me, I
swear happen. I was thinking about something, guys.
No, believe me, I have that happen to me way too often. Even on air, like sometimes one of us will blink, and then we just make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
So, like, we always have to be on our toes, because it's like, oh, one of us is going to be the butt of a joke if we don't stop.
Now I remember what I was going to ask.
Okay.
I was going to ask, are you guys on YouTube or anything?
So,
or would you guys ever consider doing that?
On my YouTube channel, I also upload the audio for the show. It doesn't have really a whole lot of subscribers on there, because it's like my personal YouTube channel, but I also did it just to kind of practice having like the show in different forms and being like, oh, I can do a YouTube version of the show. I can do a Spotify version of the show, but it's usually just the audio because in the radio station we don't have cameras or anything, so it's just this is actually my first time doing a podcasting like this that I'm actually on the camera. So I'm just like,
yay, I'm the first.
Okay, yes, you're the first. You got the exclusive rights. There we go.
I love it.
But yeah, right now it's just for the most part being really just on YouTube, because I do have people that like they don't want to touch Spotify, so they're like, do you do anything on YouTube? And it's like, yeah, here you go. But the majority of people listen to us on Spotify.
Have you looked at your like analytics and stuff and see like who listens more, where, and stuff?
A lot of it, it tends to be, most of it's on Spotify, but a lot of it has been, oddly enough, people on my Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I also have I'm part of a couple of Discord servers as well for like bands that I like and stuff, and other people have found the show, and it'll be so random because someone will send me a message where they'll be like, "Oh, I thought this segment that you did, actually the I'm Just Ken segment, like somebody was like, okay, that was really funny. I never thought of the song that way," and I'm like, oh, you listen. Thank you. Because for a while before I got the show on Spotify, not a lot of people knew about the show at all, because at Ames, to be able to listen to the show there, you have to log into a very specific app to get it. And then the actual radio signal only covers just basically when you're on campus. If you drive off campus, you lose the radio signal, so you can't actually listen to it that way. It's because of the FCC has certain regulations for radio for school, so they have certain frequencies that colleges can use if they have a radio program, but it's a very short range that they can use. So that's also kind of where the idea of going to Spotify came from, because telling people, oh, you got to go on to, we use an app called Radio FX, and it's like, you know, telling people, oh, you have to download this separate app, pull up our school to be able to listen to it. It was a bit of a process, whereas it's like, oh, it's on Spotify. People know Spotify. Anywhere. Yeah, just like, boom, it's on Spotify. There you go. And it makes life a lot easier that way. And then with, you know, everybody having Spotify on their phones, like anyone anywhere can listen to it. Like I have buddies of mine on those Discord servers. Like one of them lives out in North Carolina, and they listen to it every week, and it's hilarious.
Have you looked at like the states wise, like in what states you get listened to or anything?
A lot of it is like former radio students that used to do the show with me, but now they've graduated. So a lot of it's here in Colorado. A few other people in North Carolina. I've gotten a person in Nebraska to listen to it, which was kind of surprising, at least for me. So I'm just like, oh wow,
you're gonna get like that random state. Oh, and I'm like, what? I have randoms. I have like Mississippi, and I'm like, who the frick is in Mississippi listening to me? I'm like, thank you, love you, but it's just so weird.
I'm waiting for the day to actually see. It's like if somebody from Rhode Island does it, I just want to see it, because Rhode Island is such a tiny little state.
I have Rhode Island on mine. Oh, I have 42 states. Yeah, out of 50.
There you go.
Yeah, I think Rhode Island's on there. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. I'm just waiting for that to pop up on
it will.
That one I will be like, please tell me who you are.
No, literally, I'm always like, who is listening to me? Because it's just like so random. But I like looking at all my analytics, because I'm like, oh, where is everyone listening from?
Yeah.
Does it tell you like if it's more like female or male, or have you looked at that?
I haven't really looked at that a whole lot.
Or like the age range one?
A lot of the age range is kind of like college age. So like around like 18 to like 23.
Okay.
Which for me, I mean, I think it's kind of funny, because I'm 28. So to me, that's always kind of been the funny part. It's like, oh, I'm a little bit older than they are, but my co-hosts are 21.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of in that age. So there'll be a lot of old man jokes on the show, because right now I'm one of the older radio students, and a lot of times we'll be talking about, like, they'll be talking about stuff that happened in high school, but high school was still very recent for them. Whereas for me, it was 10 years, and they'll be like, oh, here you go. You're doing another back in my day segment. And it's just so chaotic, and I love it.
I hate when I say that. I'm like, back in my day. And I'm like, I just sounded 50 years old. I'm like, never mind.
And it's just so chaotic with some of the segments that we do. Like our second episode, my co-host sent me a thing on Snapchat, because I do the first segment just kind of by myself, and then they showed up. Yeah. And they just sent me a text message. They're like, hey, we're bringing sweet potato pancakes. I hope you're hungry. And I'm like, what?
You're like, okay.
Yeah, so I thought at first they were joking. And then all of a sudden, here comes my co-host with a big, like, aluminum foil tray of sweet potato pancakes and syrup and plates
Yeah.
and everything. So like in between segments, we're eating.
See, this is when you should be recording it because that'd be funny.
I know. We just, if anything, I need to like talk.
Use your phone.
I know.
I mean
I
just
have the
plop
video.
your phone and
Like I have the video that I sent to one of my friends. I'm like, yeah, so Dax, that's one of my co-host names. Like, so Dax brought us a bunch of sweet potato pancakes and we're just gonna eat them. But honestly, that would be really cool to do to try to do like a camera setup like this, but also too, we know that with a lot of the stuff that happens off air, we're just like, okay, we're gonna have to remember we're on camera. Like
half the time I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, but I mean with us, we can get so chaotic.
Yeah.
Like we will.
But some people like that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I always get people like, I like watching your YouTube videos better than listening because they're like, I actually like watching it. Yeah. And I was like, that's weird. But I've noticed my analytics are a lot more on YouTube sometimes. I'm like, interesting.
Yeah. If anything, because I know here where we are in Greeley at the Link, I know they have a recording studio in there, but they also have like a production area where you can do like a multi-camera setup.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I'm currently the president of the media production club at Ames, and we do stuff in the community. And in the city of Greeley, they do the Yes Fest every year around September, which is where they have a lot of like STEM organizations come out to that library and do a bunch of like hands-on demonstrations. And we were back in this area where the recording studio is, just kind of showing people like what they can do. It's like they had the green screen back there, the cyclorama, so people were taking pictures with like funny backgrounds on the green screen and stuff. And then one of my friends were doing a demonstration with the shotgun microphone. Yeah. So we were showing them, it's like, see, if you point the mic over here, you can hear these people all the way over there. If you point it over here, you can hear that door. Yeah. And just like, and just watching their little eyes light up, it was so cool. But they have the equipment there, and we know the person who runs that room. So that is definitely an idea to maybe try to do like an episode there. Yeah. But at that point, it would have to be like completely separate from anything that we do at Ames, because if we do anything on camera, put it on YouTube, it's going to be beyond chaotic. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It is. It's just, it's so much fun. And there's just so many ideas, and it's just like putting them all together and see what works. Do you guys ever have any guests, or is it just the three of you that do it? It's usually the three of us. On occasion, we will have guests, and oftentimes those guests are like former radio students that'll occasionally pop in. But right now there is, they did kind of change the rules at Ames because a lot of the equipment in the radio station and such is very expensive. Yeah. So right now they really only want like radio students to be in that area. So we can't do a whole lot of guests, but if anything, I feel like that's kind of helped me and my co-host to be like, okay, so this means we have to kind of rely on ourselves to create the content. Whereas the semester before, I had one co-host with me the entire time who wasn't a radio student, but it's like, okay, you know, maybe I was using it as a little bit of a crutch, because then it was like, oh, well, he's gonna come here with this, whereas now it's just like, oh, it's just the three of us. We can't really have a whole lot of other people. You can't fall back on anyone. Yeah, so it's like, all right, well, it's sink or swim, Mr. Squidward. Yeah, no, basically. Literally. Yeah, so it pushes you to. Yeah, it and I do like that, because the thing is to always try to get better with what we do. I love that. So talking about what is it? Talking Smarks? Yeah. I thought I had spelled it wrong. I thought it said Smirk. No, you're And then good. I went back to your Instagram to look at it, and I was like, no, I spelled it right. Yeah. But you say you talk about a lot about WW. Oh, well, I guess wrestling. Yeah, it's wrestling kind of in general. I do talk about WWE quite a bit, but also I do talk about All Elite Wrestling, which is also like the kind of like the number 2 promotion now here in the US. And I've been watching them pretty much since day one, since they started, because a lot of guys and gals in WWE jumped over there. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, I'm going to go check them out. And a lot of people that I liked watching, because I'll also watch Japanese wrestling. A bunch of them went over to All Elite Wrestling as well. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch these guys, because they do just a very different kind of style compared to WWE. So I do watch both of them. And then I also do like looking at some smaller promotions that they're not on like regular TV, but they'll do stuff like on YouTube or randomly, like they may have their own streaming apps as well, like Game Changer Wrestling. Their thing is they're more like hardcore and extreme like deathmatch kind of wrestling, but they also have some really good matches on there, so I'll watch some of their stuff. Impact Wrestling, it used to be it was Impact TNA, then it was Impact, and now it's TNA again. But they also they have a lot of really good wrestlers on there as well. Ring of Honor also just a really lot of just high quality like wrestling. So I watch a lot.
All of it?
Yeah, pretty much all of it. There are some people out there that they'll only watch WWE, or they'll only watch All Elite Wrestling, or they'll only watch the stuff in Japan. I'm the guy that I'm like, no, I'll watch all of it. If someone says, oh, hey, there was this good match on WWE this week, I'll go watch it. Oh, there was this really good match in TNA, I'll go watch it.
What's the difference between WWE and then the All Elite one?
So WWE, nowadays they're more TV PG. So like when they're, talking smack in the ring, they don't swear a lot. They have
that's lame.
like the camera setup. A lot of it is very, very flashy. Mm-hmm. Like it almost looks like a movie, because they have like these crazy ring setups and they have all the pyro and everything going off. And the way that they film the matches, they're doing it a little bit less now. But the way that they would do it is like anytime somebody would fall in the ring, they would zoom in and out really quick. Mm-hmm. And after a while, it can make you kind of dizzy. All Elite Wrestling, it's TV 14, so they swear a little bit more. They do more extreme matches on occasion. Mm-hmm. They just kind of let everybody kind of do their own thing. Yeah. Whereas in WWE, everything is very controlled. Like if you're playing, a good guy or a bad guy, mm-hmm. You have your script. And you have to follow your script when you're talking smack in the ring. Whereas in All Elite Wrestling, they don't really do that as much, where they're like, oh, you're a bad guy, but your job this week is go on TV, talk smack about the guy you're going to face at this pay-per-view in 2 weeks. Yeah. And they just let them kind of go on there and let loose. And to me, I just kind of like that, because it's an alternative. So, it's like, I like the stuff in WWE, but I also like the stuff in All Elite Wrestling. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do
you feel like, because I've heard this before from a lot of people, do you feel like WWE got like soft, I guess? It's not like it was like back in the day. I feel like back in the day it was like extreme. And now I'm like, it doesn't seem the same.
A lot of it was very extreme. And a lot of it they did end up toning down just because, a lot of it had to do with there were some wrestlers that in real life ended up doing some very bad things, like getting in trouble with the law, and actually, I'll just say it, they straight up killed people. Yeah. So a lot of that, like that kind of forced them to change their style, because professional wrestling is a very physical activity. And the person that did a lot of these very horrible things had pretty much suffered brain damage. Yeah. And that was because back then they would do like a chair shot, straight to the head, or they would jump off the top rope and land on their head. And over time they were like, okay, we have to change things. So they don't do a lot of the extreme matches as much. And then if they do, like, they take more safety precautions. They don't cuss as much in their promos, but also too, a lot of that is because as they've gotten bigger and they've gotten bigger sponsors, like mm-hmm. for their shows, naturally, like a big company like Slim Jim is one of their biggest sponsors right now. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier for Slim Jim to promote, something that's a little more PG as compared to like, oh, here's this wrestler getting super bloodied. It was different back then. Yeah. Like back then you would do commercials that were a little bit more intense, but also too nowadays with how kind of people's attitudes have changed towards a lot of that kind of stuff, they had to kind of change with it as well. And then back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of like very adult sexual content on there, which obviously like in today's world nowadays, you can't really do that anymore. Yeah. Like you can, but if you do, you're kind of at a risk there. No, yeah. Yeah, so a lot of it has changed. So there will be people being like, oh yeah, no, it's softer now. And in many ways it is, but a lot of it too is just because at the end of the day, they're a business. If they have to tone it down, but if it means that they get more sponsorship money and they get more companies, like for example, like now that WrestleMania is coming up, companies like ESPN have the wrestlers on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they wouldn't do that back then when it was all bloody death matches stuff. You know, now it's like, oh yeah, they'll have John Cena on there. They'll have The Rock on there. They'll have Rhea Ripley on there. You know, they'll have more. They're getting more mainstream attention.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of money wise, it's a really good decision depending on who you ask that are fans of it. You know, some may say that's a good thing. Some may say it's a bad thing. I say, I understand why they did it. And I mean, I still watch it because a lot of it's still really entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Out of all the wrestlers, who's your favorite?
Ooh. That is.
I guess your top 3.
Oh, okay. Well, my first one's always going to be Eddie Guerrero, R.I.P. And then after that, probably, I'd probably say Kenny Omega. He's never been in WWE, so he's been in like All Elite Wrestling, Ring of Honor, like a lot, Japan. He's done a lot of other stuff, but he's an extremely accomplished wrestler.
We'll post a picture here because I have no idea who that is either. I'm like, I know the first one. Yeah, I know who Eddie is. I know enough.
After that, like probably the third one, it would probably be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, I know who that is.
Everyone knows who that is. Like even people who don't know. Even people who have never watched a single wrestling match in their lives know who Stone Cold is.
Yeah. I feel like, he's like those, what is it, like a household name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's like The Undertaker as well. Like, people have never watched wrestling in their lives. They know who The Undertaker is.
I remember, because it's funny, every time I see someone wearing like a long black jacket, I'm always like, oh, there's The Undertaker.
There you go.
Never seen a wrestling match, but I'm like, you look exactly like him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's and those are like obviously the big, probably some of the most famous ones. Yeah.
Oh, the other ones are like
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like everybody knows John Cena.
No, yeah.
Everybody knows The Rock. Although now I do feel a lot older because The Rock's been doing movies for over 20 years now.
Shut up.
So yeah, he did The Mummy Returns, which was 2000, and then he did The Scorpion King, which was 2001. So he's been doing movies for a long time.
I remember him in The Tooth Fairy. No, it's not The Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, no, he was The Tooth Fairy.
The movie where he plays football.
Oh, The Game Plan.
That one. Yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah. So
damn, I'm not getting old.
So like to me, it's kind of shocking because there is a whole generation of kids who only know The Rock as an actor not a wrestler. So like one of my friends that I like hanging out with, her son is 10.
Yeah.
And like he was talking, I think it was like one of the Fast and Furious movies one day that we were all hanging out. And then he was like, oh yeah, well The Rock did this. And I'm like, do you know why they call him The Rock?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. And
he's big?
And I was just like,
that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I'm so old. I was like, I can feel my beard just turning white. And I was like, and then I had to like go back in my head and remember that it's like, no, The Rock's been doing movies for over 20 years. So there's literally an entire generation of kids who only know him as an actor and not really a wrestler.
How long did he even wrestle for then?
He wrestled about like full time, like almost 10 years.
Oh, and then he started, or did he wrestle and do movies at the same time?
He was doing wrestling and movies at the same time for a while, but then after a while, like once he started really making money making movies, then he just stuck to movies. Yeah. Like John Cena's kind of starting to go kind of on that path as well, because he was doing some movies, but usually wrestling, but now he's doing a lot more movies and he doesn't really wrestle all that often anymore. But I mean, it's working out for him because he's a really funny guy.
Yeah, he really is. Do you still follow that one joke of that when there's a picture of John Cena?
Oh yeah, it's like I can't see
you
him.
You have to do that joke.
You do.
If not, I mean, the time, if that 10-year-old, the next generation doesn't know what we're talking about, and then I will feel old and I will retire. And I'm like, what do you mean? You have to do the joke. The only reason I remember that joke is because every kid in the 3rd grade, I remember
everybody did the joke.
Everybody did it. And I'm like, what the fuck is John Cena?
Even nowadays, even though nadays, it's like people will post a picture of John Cena. It's like, I can't see him.
Yeah.
It's like,
they'll be like, I took a picture with John Cena. They're like, you took a picture by yourself.
Yep.
Well, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the joke just keeps going.
That is my favorite. Did you ever watch any of like the Mexican wrestling?
I did watch a little.
I guess the Lion.
I did watch a little bit of it, like growing up as a kid, because on occasion, like my grandparents would have it on, like if I just ended up being downstairs, like on a weekend. But then as I got a little old, or like around the time All Elite Wrestling started, they bring in a lot of people from Japan, so both from AAA and from CMLL. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna like look at more of this as well, because Mexican wrestling is it is a very kind of different style compared to most American wrestling, because you have the high flyers, but you get this very interesting blend because you get these people. High flyers would be like people like, you know, like Rey Mysterio, you know, people that can just jump around the ring, you know, fly around. But then also too, you get people like or like, you know, some of the old legends like El Santo, you know, things like that they were very good at, you know, doing holds and maneuvers and stuff, but they were also very, very big, like very, very muscular. So you get kind of this interesting blend where you get these people that are very big, but they can do these incredible maneuvers. And then you also get these smaller people who can just fly around, and they almost look like a piece of gum because they're just going everywhere. It's like, whoa. Yeah. Like if I even tried to do anything like that, it's like, I'm going to land right on my head.
Yeah. You're like, I'm going to break my neck.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, I really do kind of enjoy that as well. And then just the way that the crowds get during a Mexican wrestling show is
just the way Mexicans get no matter what.
Yeah. No, it is just absolutely insane. And when All Elite Wrestling has come to Denver, they've come to Denver 3 times. Mm-hmm. I've gone every single time. And the crowd there, because it's more of a grown-up crowd, whereas WWE, there's like a lot of little kids, you know, their parents, you know, they drag their parents to it. Here, All Elite Wrestling, there are some kids, but it's a lot of adults. Mm-hmm. And the crowd just gets really crazy as well. Like there was one wrestler, Sammy Guevara, he was playing a bad guy at the time, and he was trying to speak, and all of us in the crowd, we were just like, fuck you, Sammy, and just clap, and just the crowd would get so intense. And that's part of, I think, what I love about it as well, like seeing it live, especially a show like that where the crowd is just going absolutely nuts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then they actually had 2 wrestlers come out the most recent time that we went to go see him in Denver. Actually, my mom came along with us this time, and it was Penta, El Cero Miedo, and Rey Fénix. Yeah, and they put on a really good match. Post a picture here. There we go. And they won. And my mom, and this was surprising because my mom.
Did she make a bet?
She doesn't really swear. Yeah. She doesn't really do a whole lot of this, but then as the match is wrapping up and they're, you know, celebrating with the crowd and everything.
She was all getting into it.
Yeah, no, my mom was like, scream out, Viva Mexico, cabrones. And I'm like, okay.
You're like, man, what are you doing?
Yeah, like my mom, I was like, okay, mom. And I had a few beverages by this point, so I like stand up and I'm just like, Viva Mexico, cabrones, just like out loud. And it was surprising that like my mom of all people was like the one, hey, do this. And then I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, you don't have to tell me twice. Right. I will gladly do this. I probably would have done it on my own, but like, my mom just goes, so, and it was always kind of like this really funny response because I went to school the next day. And a few of my friends had seen the show because it was on TV. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, I didn't see you in the crowd or anything. And they're like, wait, who went with you? And I'm like, oh, my parents did. My mom went with me. And they were like, your mom went? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, there we were, the 3 of us at a wrestling show. And it was like, fun.
I was in shock too.
Yeah, I mean, she went when I was younger. I was about 2008. There was a WWE show in Denver that we went to, and my mom went with us that time. But obviously, you know, at that time, me and my brother, we were kids.
I was going to say, you were like 12.
we were little. And then...
so she had to go.
Yeah, so then at that point, like, when she went with us to, like, All Elite Wrestling, like, she watches it on TV, because they show, the main show that we watch is on Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. Like, she'll watch it with us. So, like, she knew what was going on. And I don't know if she was more surprised than anything, because, like, I'm getting into it, like, the crowd's getting into it, and we're all just shouting at just some of the craziest shit. So we just, so I think if anything, she was just like, okay, this kid's going off the rails here.
Yeah, she's like, oh, perfect. And I feel like it's so much different when you're in it than when you watch it, of course. Because when you're watching it, like, in the TV, like, of course, everything's edited. They cut stuff out, like, you know, but when it's live, I mean...
Oh, when it's
live... If someone breaks a tooth and it goes flying, you'll see everything.
Oh, yeah, no, the crowd goes nuts. And then later on in the show, MJF, who at the time was kind of playing, like, kind of a bad guy, this other guy was calling him out, and he just goes, boy, you must be smoking some of that sweet Colorado grass. And then the crowd stays quiet for a second, and then a few like seconds later, people in the crowd start chanting "weed, weed, weed, weed," and it gets so loud. And on like, because they uploaded it on the YouTube later on, you can hear it. So my
like clearly, yeah,
and my friends who had watched the show on TV, like the next day, they told me, they were like, "Dude, we could hear you guys. You were screaming out weed," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, we were really loud."
You're like, everybody was doing it.
Yeah, and even it was the same thing. Like my mom was at first, she was like, "What are they saying?" And then my dad's like, "Oh, they're chanting weed."
Yeah,
it was like, oh my gosh.
I love that. Did you ever watch like when the females would do it and stuff, or you more of like you liked watching the guys do it?
So a lot of the women, sometimes they even put on better matches than the guys do, because they know, like, the guys will put on a really physical match, but the women, they're not afraid to go just as hard.
Yeah.
Like, especially in All Elite Wrestling, they will let the women do like extreme matches with barbed wire and glass and thumbtacks and everything. So, and they're not afraid to do it. And it's like, oh yeah. I haven't gotten a chance to see any of those types of matches live just yet, because they haven't done them when they've come out to Denver. But just seeing it on TV, it's just like, man, these girls are crazy. I like it.
Yeah, no, I see. Well, what's her name? Riley, the one with the black hair.
Oh, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I love her to death. I don't know how on some odd reason I was on TikTok and I magically got on Riley Ripley. What's her name?
Ripley.
Rhea Ripley. Sorry.
Yeah.
On that side of TikTok for some odd reason. That's when I figured out Rey Mysterio had a son, and I was like, I'm all down for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, he has my heart. But yeah, I was just like, hey, they actually, because like I would the only time I ever heard about like girls wrestling was the twins.
The Bella twins. Yeah.
So then I saw her and I was like, since when? But then like she had been doing it for a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. I guess I just I grew up watching High School Musical, so I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
High School Musical.
Oh man, that takes me back.
Yeah, and that makes me feel old too.
Oh yeah. And it was so actually Zac Efron actually just did a movie. It's called The Iron Claw, that he actually plays a wrestler.
Oh really?
And yeah, they're actually supposed to be adding it on HBO Max here soon. I actually did get to watch it in theaters. Really good movie, really sad movie. But he got into
die?
No, he lives, but he got into really, really good shape for the role. Like he got jacked.
Yeah.
So it was kind of crazy. It's like, oh, well, here's Troy Bolton now.
Hi guys, welcome back. My phone lost storage because I like to have 1,000 pictures of Hermoso. So sorry about that. But here we are back.
We're back. Just, little setback.
Yeah, de repente it's like, what, update your storage? Or I was like, oh, perfect. Well, we were talking about Zac Efron.
I actually had that happen last week when we were actually recording the dumpster fire at Ames, because we do it through Adobe Audition, and we were just using the program, and then I didn't realize, because I had taken my phone out and I put it on my desk, but I didn't realize that it hit the space bar. So it paused the recording, and Dax is like, you paused the recording and just live on air. It's like, oh wait. So then I'm like, oh no, stop. Yeah. And then obviously we had to make a joke out of it. It's like, you pushed the wrong button. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Like, what's the one with the llama? Cusco, did you ever see that?
Cusco, yes.
You wrong liver.
Yep. Wrong liver, Kronk.
That's happened to me. That's why I'm always so scared that it's never recording. Yeah. That pasado one time, my phone was dying, and it gave me the low battery thing. Yeah. So I cut off, and then one time my phone completely just died. I was no. That's why I was like, my phone died. I was like, I charged it. I saw it.
Like, I'm sorry.
I was like, no. I get so scared. But he's watching. Hugo's watching it right now. Usually when I'm by myself, me levanto like 6 times because I'm like,
thank you, Hugo.
Yeah. Shout out. So, since, I like to ask my guests crazy questions. They're not be too crazy. If you don't want to answer them, you can always say no. But I mean, it is whatever you feel comfortable with. There you go. Right. We're gonna play a little Would You Rather. Dun dun dun. Ooh. I love asking people random questions.
Oh, here we go.
Hold up, I have this one question. I've asked pretty much every guest I've ever had. Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
So, pretend you're in an abandoned mall.
Okay.
Okay, it's just you by yourself in an abandoned mall. You're stuck in there for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be stuck in there with 1 silverback gorilla or 5 mamba snakes?
I'll take the snakes.
Why?
Because at least with the snakes, like I think like I just have a better chance with them. Whereas if it's the silverback gorilla, he gets his hands on me, like that's it. At least
it's
with
five
the snakes.
fucking...
Yeah, but it's...
You know how poisonous they are? You can't hear them though. What if you're just chilling, eating, you broke into the vending machine, you grab some chips and you're like, fuck it, and you're dead.
I'd rather at least, but at least at that point, it's quick. It's not, I'm getting pounded to death by a gorilla.
But at least you can hear the gorilla and run the other way.
Yeah, but if he gets his hands on me, I'm still toast. It's
what if he's like, oh no, okay, let's pretend we're stranded in the Grilly Mall. What if he's at Sears, where Sears used to be, and you're by, I don't know what's on this side, Finish Line. You can still see him. You can run somewhere and hide.
True. It would be hard to hide though, because if I was gonna bust in a Finish Line, I'd be like, "Oh, these cheese are sick." Be like, "Hang on, give me a sec."
It's an abandoned mall.
I know.
It's empty.
Oh no! If it's empty, then I'm like screwed. I don't know. I just think I don't know. I just want to take on the snakes. I'll be like, "Come on."
It's 5 of them.
5 of them, 1 of me. I got this.
That it. What did you say last time? I'll do the snakes too. Okay, maybe it's a family thing, because what do you... At least with the gorilla, you can hear him coming to kill you. The snakes, you can't. Just...
Snakes do slither, though.
But you're not gonna... It's not like you're gonna hear them slither.
If it's an abandoned mall, that means there's probably stuff everywhere, so the snake's gonna have to bump into something.
You know what? How poisonous are they?
I didn't do
It's the most feared snake in Africa because of its size, aggression, venom, toxicity, spread of onset of some... See? It's gonna kill you. And it's 5 of them.
Yeah, but it's...
You're gonna die.
Yeah, but it's quick.
You're not surviving 24 hours. Ew,
but it's quick.
I hate snakes. I don't know why I'm looking them up. Ew. Okay.
But it's quick. Like, he bites me and I probably only have like a minute or 2 before I'm gone. Whereas if it's a gorilla...
What if he just grabs you and cracks your neck, then you're dead?
That gorilla's not going to crack my neck. He's
How do you know?
Smash me into bits.
He's gonna...
Because it's a gorilla.
I don't know, guys. I don't know what you got. I picked the gorilla anyways. See, I had to. It's a family thing. You guys both said the snakes.
Could be a family thing.
Anyways. Okay. Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 100 years into the future? I mean, if it's with the snakes, he would die, so there's no future there.
Probably, I would say 100 years.
It's 150.
Oh, 150? Yeah, no, I totally want to see that. Just to be like, okay, is everything still here? Like, what's changed? Yeah, no, I'd want to see that, because at least like 10 minutes, I mean, it's
not 10 minutes. Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah, no, whereas it's 150 years, I'll be like, okay, where's my clone? You know?
I wonder, have you seen that thing on TikTok where it's like certain things can be opened until like so many years?
Yeah, the time capsules.
The one thing that trips me out is whatever her name is, La Esposa de JF Kennedy, her bloody dress.
Oh,
from the assassination.
Yeah.
Like literally it's like in 2000, like Sue, of course we're all gonna be dead by then, but I was like, why do we have to wait so long to see it? It's so weird. I don't know.
That'd be kind of interesting, actually.
To see her dress. I wonder why they've been hiding it for so long. Well, probably they're gonna say that for now and then nobody sees it because they're just gonna forget about it.
Could be.
I don't know.
You never know with the government.
I don't know. The government's a little... So 150 years? Would we see the dress? I don't know how long it was, but yeah. All right. Would you rather lose your sight or your memory?
Probably the memory.
Why the memory?
Because at least then some of the crazier things, then it's like, oh, clean slate.
I mean, like, I don't remember anything.
I can create new memories, whereas the old ones are gone. It's like, oh, a clean slate. I can start over. Yes.
It's a hard one. I love remembering things. So do you just not remember anything? Or do you just not remember, like, important things?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing if it's the memory, it would be like...
Like everything
just...
But, like, how long do you remember something for? Is it going to be... What is that movie? 52 dates? 51st dates? 50...
Oh, 51st dates.
How, like, she remembers everything and the next day it's like...
the next day just...
Oh, I don't know. That's weird. But I wouldn't want to not be able to see.
Yeah. That's why I say at least with the sight, it's like, sure, it may be, I may not remember a thing, but at least I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Con la sight, no vas a ver, pero vas a saber dónde vas a poder seguir acordando de dónde dejaste tu bebida. You drink. Y si se te olvida, you'll be like, I was drinking.
Imagine? Yeah. I know. Never mind. Well,
no, but that could be cool because it's like, I like Modelo. It's like, I can always remember like that first day someone will be like, wow, every single time. Like, that would actually be really cool.
The very first?
Yeah, it's like I get to rediscover it over and over
again. The first sip of beer always hits the best. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, let's bring it this way. Would you rather lose your hearing or your sight?
Probably, at that point, the sight, because with hearing, at least you can still kind of be able to kind of gauge where certain things are. Whereas, like, if you lose your hearing, but you can still see, it's like, okay, you can see something coming, but how do you know if that's good or bad?
Well, if you hear something, you can't see if it's good or bad.
True, but at least, how do I say this? At the very least...
Back to the mambas and the gorilla.
I feel like I would just have a better shot as long as I can still hear.
Really? I'd rather see. Because, I mean, at least I can type things and people can read it.
Yeah.
Or they can type something and I can read it. Speaking of hearing and sight, do you think... what's that one woman's name that was deaf and blind? Not Anne Frank. That was Helen Keller. Do you think she was a lie? Do you feel like she was made up? How are you deaf and mute? Right?
I mean, it's
and then she wrote books and shit. Someone says she wrote a plane. I don't fucking know. That's a little...
I mean, it's not impossible.
How are you going to write a book if you can't hear or see or talk?
I don't make the rules.
This was also like 50 years ago when there was no technology, so that makes no sense to me. I don't know. I feel like... I don't know. What's her name again? I forgot.
Helen Keller.
Helen Keller. I don't know. You're a mystery to me. Would you rather be 11 feet tall or 9 inches tall?
11 feet would be cool.
What if you're the only one who's 11 feet? What if you step on somebody?
Sorry?
Sorry.
No, I mean, that would be like...
That's really tall.
It would be really tall, but at the same time, you would have such a panoramic view of everything.
You wouldn't fit into a lot of things.
True.
You would have to get like a specific car made.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd have to get a specific car made.
You know how much you would have to eat to maintain an 11-foot body? That's insane.
That means more tacos.
You know how much you would have to eat, though? I feel like you would have to eat so many calories. Because those like people that are like 7 feet tall.
This is just an excuse to eat more tacos. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm 11 feet tall. 12 tacos isn't going to do it. I'm going to need like 24 here to get started.
You might need like 40 and a 12-pack or something.
That doesn't sound bad at all. I see this as an absolute win.
Well, yeah, because if you're 9 inches tall, you could probably eat a piece of carne and then get full.
Oh, yeah, no, not even a piece of carne. It'd be like... Yeah, no, it'd be like...
Smell it,
yeah.
You get the llenas.
Yeah, no, we're at least with 11, it's just like, yeah, get me started with 60 tacos.
Yeah, we'll start there.
Well, we'll start there. Oh, yeah, give me another 20. Oh, actually, no, make that 40.
You know how small they would be compared to your 11-foot hands, though? They would be like...
It'd be like eating a cheese ball. You'd be like...
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, with like chopsticks, just...
That would be awesome. Are you kidding me? That would be so much fun. You'd be like...
Huh.
Especially if it's tacos.
Well, I don't know.
Just saying, the chance to have
9 inches tall is like this big, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know what 9 inches are. Never. Anyways, okay.
9 inches long.
Would you rather vomit on your hero or have your hero vomit on you?
I'd rather have them vomit on me.
Ew, that's disgusting.
No, just because then I don't have to deal with the embarrassment of being the person who vomited on my hero.
Who's your hero? Who are you vomiting on? No, who's vomiting on you?
Actually, probably Kurt Cobain. The guy on your shirt.
He's probably... I stained him earlier.
Yeah. Like, if he threw up on me, I'd be like... Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I'd be like, the ultimate rebel just threw up on me. Thank you.
Just thinking about it. What if it's all chunky and smelly and ugh? Of course, it's not going to be a little throw up like a little, oops, sorry. No, it's going to be like
a full on.
Yeah.
That's why we have showers. Just make sure it's a really good shower. And I'll be
yeah, you might have to throw your clothes away.
Are you kidding me? At that point, I'd be like, hey, can we put these in a museum? You're just gonna have to put them in like a sealed glass, like an airtight.
No, yeah, so nobody opens it.
Yeah, like please don't open this. It would be too dangerous.
Yeah, imagine. Oh, the smell.
It would be bad.
That does not sound like fun. Huh. Oh, this one's funny. Would you rather always have BO and not know it, or always smell BO on everyone else?
Ooh. Probably the have BO and not have it. Or
and not smell
know it. Yeah. And not smell it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, no,
like, it's not I can't smell it, so.
Yeah, no, because if I was smelling everybody else's BO,
that's
I'd be
disgusting.
like, that's it. Like, it's like, I'm going to go pass out now, guys.
Yeah.
Or just wear a gas mask everywhere.
No, literally. Oh, that reminds me, one time I was at the gym and some guy did not. That was disgusting. If you guys want to watch that episode, God.
I've dealt with plenty of those when I go
I'm like, okay, you're at the gym. The place where you literally sweat. Put on some deodorant. It's not like you're running to Walmart and grabbing a carton of milk and you're going home. You're at the gym sweating.
Oh, yeah.
What do you... I don't understand people.
Yeah, no, there are some people that I've definitely gone to the gym to, and it's like... how do I say this? I may not see them coming, but I can smell them.
Oh, no, we could tell it. Well, I go to Gold's and everything's like open space, so you could definitely see everybody. Yeah. And you could smell him, and then 20 minutes later he was walking in. I was like, oh, buddy.
You know, for a while there was one guy that would come in and he would wear like the same, and I'm pretty sure it was the same set of gym clothes because I never saw him wear anything else. And you could tell because there would be days like I would be in the sauna just like after a workout, just trying to relax. And
you're telling me he would go in the sauna?
He would go in the sauna, but I wouldn't even have to look up because I'd be like, kind of just down like this, just all right, you know, just trying to chill. I hear the door opens.
You already knew it was him?
I'm like, oh, it's you.
So not only are you already sweating, you go somewhere to sweat more. Oh, negative partner.
No, at that point, I'll just look up at the clock and be like, okay, I only have to be in here 5 more minutes.
You're like, you know what? I would be like, you know what? I can't do this. I'll be skinny tomorrow. Bye. What gym do you go to?
I go to Vasa.
To Vasa? Nice.
Yeah, it's the closest one to my house, so I just...
You're like, might as well. I used to go to Vasa, but then I got super full, so I started going to Gold's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, with Vasa, like, since I go right at 4 a.m. when it opens...
Oh, shit, nobody's there.
Yeah, it's like...
A bunch of old guys.
It's like, there's a few younger people, but not... There's one gal that goes there, she's like 23. Mm-hmm. But everybody else is like 30s, 40s, or, older. So it's really cool because like it's like 10 people. And it's like, oh, I don't have to wait in line for a machine or anything. Right. I can just go in, do my thing. And usually I'm done by about like 5:30. Mm-hmm. So that's when everybody else starts showing up.
When everyone's awake.
I'm out. Like, see y'all.
Yeah. Red flags and guys. Men that are born... I always say that men that were born in February, sorry. Hey. Oh. I mean, not February. January.
Oh.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
I don't know about Capricorns. Are you guys red flags?
We are...
What month is that?
It's December.
December?
Yeah.
Oh, you're at the end of December, right?
Yeah, December 27th.
Oh, you're really at the end of it.
Peak Capricorn season right there.
When does Capricorn season start?
I think it's like December 18th or something like that. And it ends like January 19th. Something like that.
You know what's funny, guys? I put in red flags and the first thing that pops up is men.
I mean, where's the last one?
Literally. 17. See, men had like 100 red flags. Women only have 17. So, yeah, because we're not red flags. It's always the men. How is that a red flag? Okay, it says that one of the red flags in women. Hold up. I have one of those pop-ups. It says when she has a complete different lifestyle and the guy's working out and she's eating pizza. What does that have to do with anything? She doesn't share your values. You know what? Whoever made this was a man that was hurt by a woman. I'm like, never mind. Me getting all defensive, huh?
At that point, it's like, who are you, man?
Let's see. What does this one say? I'll read you guys the men ones because Men's have more red flags.
I'm terrified.
Tell me if you... Oh, you can tell me if any of these pertain to you, and then I'll see if the other ones pertain to me.
Okay.
Wait, these are kind of dumb. That one's funny. Yes, this is a red flag. He ghosts you periodically and only reappears without explanation.
Yeah, no, that is a big red flag.
Or when he just deletes you off Snapchat and then adds you back because his little girlfriend isn't in. Anyways, that's not the point of this episode. I'm always throwing everybody under the bus. He's
those are the ghosters that I call them. That they arrive, they disappear.
Mr. Ghost.
Mr. Ghost. There you go.
The body shamer.
Ooh, those are the worst.
Oh, it says the body. No, not the body. Sorry, the money shamer. It says what he says. Wow, you ordered so much food. I'm not paying for your extra. What he's really saying, I'm not willing to invest much in this relationship.
Oh.
This one's called Sir Flirt-a-Law. What he says, wow, you look as beautiful as... wow, you look as beautiful as our server tonight. What he's really saying, my attention easily diverts. You're not the only special one here.
Oh, man.
Do you do that, or do you just keep it to yourself if the server's harder than your girlfriend?
If anything...
Oh, do you have a girlfriend before I start throwing you under the bus?
No.
Okay, perfect.
No, but if
I'm like, wait, before I say anything, I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, no, if anything, like, if I'm dating someone, I'm like that guy that, like, if I'm dating someone...
You're focused on them?
Yeah. Because then at that point, because usually my thing has always been more like personality than looks, because like I'm not very good looking myself, so I can't like be one of those. No, yeah. I know. I'm just saying it's like I can't be one of those that it's like, oh well, I'm only going for the super hot ones, and it's like, nah, dude, it's like if I'm with somebody that like they're good with like they're good with me, they're good with my family and stuff, like that matters way more than
way
more than looks, because looks change.
Yeah, you're gonna get wrinkly and old,
or bald.
Or bald. Hey, some people like the bald look. The Rock's bald. Yeah. John Cena's bald. Who's the other actor?
He has hair.
He has hair. I don't know. I can't.
Not a lot, but
I can never see him. Vin Diesel's bald. See. You gotta go. Well, yeah, hey, people like the bald guys.
He's bald and he's all about his family.
Yeah. True. This one's funny. This red flag in women. Oh, no. I laugh because this is not that I'm a red flag, guys. I am always green flags. Wait, it says red flag. Red flag if she says she's not a red flag. It says if she's on the rebound. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know what that means. But anyways.
No, I mean, I'm just saying I've been the rebound before. Like I've been the guy.
The reboundee?
The reboundee. Yeah, where a girl's like, okay, you. And you're
like, okay, and then you're like, just kidding. Because you're just there to pass the time, pretty much.
How do I say
not
this?
That I wouldn't not that I do that.
So it was just such a weird time. So this was a girl that, like, my freshman year of high school I had a crush on. Mm-hmm. And me and her would kind of talk. But
is it the girl you dated?
A friend of a girl I dated.
Oh.
Which, yeah, awkward. But anyways.
It's fine. We don't judge here. Yeah,
but it's
a safe space.
But basically, she got into a relationship, I got into one, and then we both got out of relationships at kind of the same time, and we were both just sad and miserable. So, and she was still... It was awkward. So she was still living with her ex at the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. They were just roommates. What are you talking about? They were just roommates.
Like her room was upstairs. His was down in the basement.
Exactly. They were just roommates. I don't know why they're so watery.
Yeah, but then it's just like it's just awkward. It's like you get out and it was just like, oh, hey guy, yeah.
You're like, so
I'll show myself out now. See ya. Bye.
Yeah, you're like, hey buddy.
Yeah, like, hey buddy, and then it got even more awkward because I'm leaving and a girl's going to hang out with him, so I'm just like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of here.
You're like, I'm not gonna be in the middle of this.
I'm done. It's like I'll let y'all settle this.
No, literally. That's funny though. The first thing when I type in red flags, it was men. This one's funny. Ooh. Not that I say I'm the victim, but she's the victim in all her relationship stories. I am the victim, okay? Leave me alone. I really am. I don't know why my eyes are so watery right now. Looks like I'm crying. I don't cry over these men. Anyways.
That is a big list. 55?
Yeah, this is the men one, I'm telling you. Men.
I'm saying this as a man. Sometimes we're really stupid.
No.
Like,
did you know your frontal lobe doesn't develop? I don't know why my eyes are watery. Doesn't develop until you're like 42 or something? The man one?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yours? How old are you?
Oh,
you said 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. 13.
I got a while left to go.
He has 13 years, ladies. So, if you want his frontal lobe to mature, you got 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then women's frontal lobe doesn't develop until you're 25. Makes sense because I was a dumbass until like last year. So, yeah. So okay, like a month ago. Oh yeah, so sorry guys, my frontal lobe was damaged.
There we go. It's like I'm just gonna start using that now. It's like, sorry guys, my frontal lobe isn't fully developed.
Red flag. Oh yeah,
I'm gonna start using that on the show now.
You should put that in. You should put that if you're on dating apps. Put that on your bio. Sorry, my frontal lobe hasn't developed yet.
Yeah. I'll be like, my frontal lobe hasn't developed, and there's been a few shots. There's been a few concussions in there, so I'm so sorry.
This is a red flag in men. Well, I mean, I guess excessive smoking, drinking, and use of drugs. Well, he's doing meth. Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's gross.
Do you do drugs?
Mm-mm.
Recreationally?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's okay.
I mean,
your mom's not going to watch this.
I like my modelo, but yeah.
We won't show your mom.
No, I'm a clean boy.
Oh, we love that.
I'm a clean boy.
You don't vape or anything?
Mm-mm.
Look at that. I love that for you.
I like my modelo.
You're like, I'll drink, but that's about it.
Yeah.
The people you love don't like her. How is that a red flag? You know what? Never mind. We're not gonna get. I was
gonna be like,
we're not getting into this one. That's always.
It's like I've definitely had that happen a few times, and it's just like.
The people honestly, I feel like this goes both ways though. Yeah, mm-hmm. Because the people in your life know better than you. Porque love is blind.
Yes.
How is this a red flag? She's a jealous type. I mean, as long as you're not psycho about it.
I was gonna say there are definitely some.
If you're not like obsessive,
there are definitely some psychos out there.
I'm not a psycho. She's not accountable. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I'll blame you. I'm perfect. What do you mean?
I'll be like, oops.
I'm like, I'm the perfect one. What are you talking about? The men ones are. I feel like whoever created the men ones were not really going into them because none of these are.
Are they like specific at all or no?
No, they're very normal ones, and I'm like, okay, a man by Vanessa. Vanessa, you did not write this, right? Someone who's had their heart broken needs to write this blog because I don't know. Let's go back to the women ones. Well, the men ones. Oh, his life stories seem exaggerated or too good to be true. Oh, I hate men that lie. Ooh. Do you like leches crema los tacos when you talk about your love life or your life to women?
Not really. If anything, if they're talking to me, I'm like, I'm surprised because I'm a loser most of the time. So yes,
don't be mean to yourself.
It's like I don't need to exaggerate this.
You're like, this is me.
Yeah.
Have fun.
It's like this is me. I'm the guy who does podcasts and watches wrestling. This is me. There's no need to exaggerate.
Oh, speaking of wrestling, look.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's Mr. Perfect.
Oh, really?
That is actually his wrestling name. Yeah, Mr. Perfect.
I'm thankful for being absolutely
perfect. Yeah, that was his whole character, that he was perfect at everything.
Mm-hmm. This was like from back in the day, because I feel this
curls... this is the late 80s, early 90s.
I was going to say, those curls are giving me perm. They're giving me 80s or not early 90s.
I can't relate.
You had hair for a long time though, didn't you?
Did.
And then?
Keyword did. Genetics and life got in the way.
I'm telling you, there's those balls, guys, that people love.
True.
Mr. Me. What he says, enough about you, let's talk about me. Do you ever say that?
Mm-mm.
Do you ever?
Yeah, no.
If a guy ever told me that, I would punch him in the head.
Yeah, like I've definitely known people like that, and it's like,
okay, have you ever thought about it though? Have you ever been like, shut up, I don't want to hear what you have to say?
Not really, because I know 9 times out of 10 it's probably going to end with me getting dropped. So it's like, no. Plus, I mean, for me, like doing the stuff on the radio and stuff, it's easier for me to open up. But half the time when people are like, tell me about you, and half the time
tell me about yourself.
It's like, I'm a loser. No, I'm kidding. I just go with that one. That's just my go-to. I'm just like, I'm a nerd, you know?
Yeah.
Or like, if you ever watched Friends, like Chandler's like my spirit animal.
Really? It's not Joey?
Joey's charismatic. You know, he's a goofball, but he's very charismatic and he has this really charming thing. Whereas Chandler's just kind of like awkward and kind of funky. I'm like, that's probably more me.
You're more of a Chandler?
I'm more of a Chandler, that's for sure.
Nobody wants to be Ross, though.
I can't be Ross.
He got married like 7,000.
Yeah, no, I am definitely not. I'm not a Ross. I'm definitely Chandler.
Yeah. I'm definitely Chandler.
Or like one of the jokes or like one of the gifs I'll share with like the group chat with the people that I do the show with. Mm-hmm. It'll be like that one episode where he's just like, I'm sad, lonely, and desperate for love.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll just I'll like use a lot of those, and then I tend to use like a lot of like the sarcasm that Chandler uses. I'll do that a lot, so that's why I'm like, no, Chandler's my spirit animal. I'm not charismatic enough to be a Joey. I'm not a Ross, because
you're like, I'm not that nerdy with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, I'm not that nerdy with the dinosaurs. Plus, also too, let's not forget, they might have been on a break, but Ross, what are you doing, my man?
They were not. They were on a break.
They were on a break.
Do you feel? Well, see, that's where it gets complicated. They were technically, yes, they were on a break, but they were not on a break. You know what? Yeah. He's a cheater. I'm just saying.
There you
go. Anyways, this one's funny. It says the commitment phobe. This is what he says. Let's see where things go. No need to label it. What he's really saying. I'm not committed to this relationship, so don't get too attached.
That's a
have you ever? Have you ever said something like that?
Typically, like if I am on a date with a girl, and if I know that it's like, oh, I'm not interested, like I'd rather just be more like.
Are you upfront with them? You're like we're just gonna be best friends.
Yeah, like I'll tell them, just because I don't want to be the guy that like leads someone on. You know, like that's like, to me that's just a dick move. I'm like,
yeah, that's shitty.
Do that. I'd rather like if this girl,
like if you hate me, just say that.
Yeah, or if it's just like, I mean, you're cool, but I don't really see this going anywhere. You know, I'd rather just tell them, just so that way they're not being led on. Because then that just turns into all of the mess, and I'm like, I ain't dealing with that shit.
Let's say one more for the girls. This one's funny because I feel like when my sense of humor is mean, it says her sense of humor is mean. That's a red flag in women. I don't know. I just feel like the way I joke.
Yeah.
She's always joking around in a mean way. It's not a joke. It's a red flag. It's not a red flag. Okay. It says run, don't walk away from the woman who is mean when she's funny. It's just because you're sensitive. That's not. I'm not being mean. You just don't know how to take a joke. Anyways, maybe I am a red flag. Am I? No one's gonna answer that one. Anyways, guys, no, we're not gonna answer that one. Okay, because then my feelings are gonna get hurt. Anyways, guys, don't forget, guys, you can listen to me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you can see our beautiful faces on YouTube. Yes. Bye.
We'll see y'all.